What up, what up? Welcome to Mr. Brown's class, where there's no whining and no complaining. Today we're on converting decimals to fractions, converting fractions to decimals, and also converting percents to decimals. Alright, so we're going to start off first with decimals to fractions. Now if we say these out loud, right, in the correct way, it's pretty easy. The hard part is reducing them. So right now in your head, why don't you read out what this number, this decimal number would be. And you would say 100, 125, and this spot would be the thousands. Now the hard part now is reducing it, because as my class always knows, you always have to reduce. All right, now both of them either end in a 5 or 0, so that means that we can divide by what? Correct, we can divide both by 5. Now, you could even go larger than that with 25, all right, because 25 goes into 1,000. You know, but one way we've learned that you can reduce is by, I shouldn't put that line there, is by prime factorization. So if we do 5 times 25 and 5 times 5, all right, so we get 5 times 5 times 5, and then we have 1,000, which we know is 100 times 10. This is 2 and 5. This is 10 and 10. 2 and 5. 2 and 5. We make a prime factorization tree, all right? And we have, what, 3 2s? If you can do it this way, you can solve things, these big fractions, a lot more, all right? So we see that we have 3 5s on top. Those cancel out the 3 on the bottom, and we're left with 1 on top. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8 on bottom. So that's one way to do it. You could also divide each by 5 and then by 5 again and so on, right? But that's one way that you can do it. All right, so here we have 11. Say it out loud to yourself. All right, you have 11 and 45 hundredths. Okay, now with this one, you might use, since it's not as big, right, you can go a little bit faster. So we can divide this 45 by 5 and this by 5. All right, which is 9 20ths. And 9 can be divided by 3, but 20 can't be divided by 3. All right, so this would be your answer. Those are your two answers. So we say it out loud, and then we put it over what we end in. What is the last number in the decimal? So this is in the hundredths, so we put it over 100. This is in the thousands, so we put it over thousands. All right, now in my class, when we talk about converting fractions to decimals, we know that all fractions are division problems. All right, so if we're converting 23 over 100, all right, and we want to convert this to a decimal, well, this one's an easy one. Anytime it's over 100, just say this out loud to yourself. All right, 23 hundredths, right, would be 0.23, 23 hundredths. All right, so that's an easy one. All right, but we could also divide that. All right, 100 goes on the outside, 23 goes on the inside. 100 doesn't go into 23, so we put a decimal there. 100 goes into 230 twice. We can keep bringing down zeros. 100 goes into 300 3 times, and there you get the same answer. But if it's over 100 or 10 or 1,000, it makes it a lot easier to write your decimal. Let's try 7/4. And this time let me change up the color. All right, again, the bottom number goes on the outside. Top number goes on the inside. Now 4 does go into 7 one time, and we get a remainder of 3. But remember, we're converting it to a decimal. So at the end of that 7, there's always an imaginary decimal at the end of any whole number. All right there. And so we can keep going because we have an infinite number of zeros. So we bring that down. 4 goes into 30 7 times. 4 goes into 25 times. And now we can stop because we got a remainder of 0. So our answer to this is 1 75/100. All right, all fractions are division problems. All right, let's try one more. All right, if we have 3 4/5, all right, we know that 3, it's going to be, our answer is going to be 3 point something. All right, so all we really need to do is take, and let me change the color real quick. All right, 5 goes on the outside. Let's forget about that for a minute. All right, so we know that 3 is going to be here, and it's going to be 3 point something. All right, so 5 doesn't go into 4, so that's why we can bring up that 3. 5 goes into 40 8 times. We get a remainder of 0, so that one was quick. So 3 4/5 is 3 8/10. All right, so again, all fractions are division problems. Now we're looking at changing percents into decimals. Now, when we talk about percent, that means that 25 out of 100. Percent means out of 100. Right? So when we say this, all right, we're saying 25 divided by 100. Now we've learned through our mental math, hopefully, all right, that when you're dividing something by 100, okay, which again, this means dividing by 100, you're just moving the decimal, which is imaginarily here, over 2 spots. All right, because each place value is worth a 10. So the 1 spot dividing by 10 would move it 1 place value. Moving it by 100 would move it 2 place values. All right, so 25 divided by 100, all right, is going to be 0.25, 25 hundredths. Okay, so when you get the hang of it, when you're changing a percent to a decimal, all you're moving it is 2 decimal places. All right, so again, this is 125, and you don't have to write this out like this, but I'm just showing you, all right, that a percent is dividing it by 100. Okay, and what I've just been saying is all fractions are division problems. All right, so if I divide 125 divided by 100, that's going to move that decimal to place values, because 100 is each place value is a 10, so 2 place values is 100. So 125% is 1.25. All right, these mean exactly the same thing. All right, so 100% is 1. Okay, anything over 100% is going to be 1 point something. Okay, here we have 2.5%. All right, so very small, 25%, okay, is a lot bigger than 2.5%. So again, we have 2.5 divided by 100, all right? And if you can hear the dog barking upstairs, I'm sorry for the distraction. If not, hopefully you're good. All right, so when we divide by 100, again, we got to remember that we're moving at 2 place values. And I know that there's only one number that we see, but remember that we have imaginary zeros here. All right, so our answer is going to be 25 thousandths. All right, so 2.5% is 25 thousandths. And again, all we have to do is remember that we're dividing by 100, so we move it to place values. All right, the last one, let's do 7.5%. Very similar to this one. What is a half as a decimal? A half as a decimal is 0.5. So this one's going to be very similar. All right, we move the decimal over 2 spots and we get 0.075. All right, and so again, just like a different language, English and Spanish. This is a percent, this is a decimal. Remember, everybody, be more awesome, and make sure that if you like this video, that you subscribe and like and share it with somebody that might be struggling with this concept or other concepts with math.